replica of the one Tesla used to demonstrate his greatest breakthrough, and one of the most important inventions of all time. It showed how rotary movement can be produced directly from an alternating current, crucially one that could be generated thousands of miles away. This was something that had never been done before.
When Tesla was working on the alternating current motor, he was thinking big, and he was not just tinkering with one little component of the motor and saying, gee, if I can make that a little bit better, it will work out. He's actually thinking about an entire system that involves the generator, the wires to the motor, and the motor itself. He's a complete maverick. He's thinking outside the box. He's doing things very differently than any of his fellow contemporary inventors.
Tesla's solution was ingenious. He fed more than one alternating current into his motor and timed them so that they followed in sequence with each other. The first alternating current energized a coil of wire inside the motor, creating an electromagnetic field which attracted the motor's central moving part to it and then faded. The second overlapping current fed the next coil, dragging the moving part around further before it faded, and the same for the third coil and the fourth. The result was a revolving magnetic field strong enough to make the motor, or in this case his egg, spin. Tesla designed an entire electrical system around this, called polyphase transmission. This meant a noisy and smelly power station generating lots of useful alternating current could now be situated away from populated areas.
And for the first time, you can build large power stations wherever you want, on the edge of town or at a waterfall like Niagara, and you can then distribute the power over long distances and serve all the people in a major city or metropolitan center.
Tesla's breakthrough was the last piece of the jigsaw, but he still had to convince the world that his solution was better than the direct current method championed by Edison. Edison continued to roll out his direct current system, building power stations across New York State. But then Tesla met George Westinghouse, the man who could make his dreams into a reality. In July 1888, Westinghouse made an offer for Tesla's patents, which has become part of the mystery and folklore surrounding the whole Nikola Tesla story, where it's difficult to separate fact from fiction. Tesla was paid $75,000 for his alternating current patents and offered $2.50 for every horsepower his motors would generate. This should have guaranteed him vast wealth for the rest of his life, but that isn't what happened. It's clear to us now that at the time the AC system was a much better method of transmitting electric power, and you'd think that with Tesla's breakthroughs, nothing could stand in the way of the success of AC over DC. But one man still believed totally in his direct current inventions. From the filaments of the bulbs to the switches, sockets and generators. And he wasn't about to waste millions of dollars on changing them. Edison. The battle lines were drawn. Westinghouse and Tesla went toe-to-toe with Edison for New York's lucrative lighting contracts. Two completely different systems battling it out for one ultimate prize. The chance to light up America and then the world. It would become known as the War of the Currents. Both camps tried to undercut each other on cost, but Edison believed his beloved direct current was better than alternating current because it was safer. Touching an Edison cable with its low voltage was painful but relatively harmless. whereas alternating current cables carried a much higher voltage, and touching them could be deadly.
So, what Edison was trying to do was to again define his DC system, right, as the safe system. It's better than electric street arc lights, it's better than gas, and it's now better than high voltage AC incandescent lighting, right? It's the system that's safe. You adopt the Edison system, you can be sure it's going to be safe.
Edison claimed that AC was a more dangerous type of current than DC, and he highlighted every accident to Westinghouse's workmen and every fire caused by short circuits. It was a potent message because in the 1880s, many people were still terrified by electricity. It could shock and even kill in an instant, and the reasons why still weren't fully understood. For many, the idea of piping this invisible killer into their homes was utterly ludicrous. So the weapon used in the War of the Currents was fear. And a little-known electrical engineer, Harold P. Brown, was about to take the fight against AC to a whole new level. It was to prove one of the most extreme and negative publicity campaigns in history. Brown had devised a unique and theatrical way of demonstrating the deadly power of AC, and he was eager to share it with the world. So on a warm summer's evening in July 1888, he gathered together 75 of the country's top electrical engineers and reporters to witness a spectacle they would never forget. Brown's plan was extremely macabre. He'd paid a team of street urchins to collect together stray dogs roaming Manhattan. Out on stage, he addressed his audience. "I have asked you here, gentlemen, to witness the experimental application of electricity to a number of brutes." His demonstration involved electrocuting the dogs with DC and AC power in an attempt to show that AC current killed them more quickly. And it wasn't just dogs. Brown went on to make public spectacles of killing a calf and even a horse. And he moved from dogs to larger animals for a reason. He wanted to show that the AC form of electricity was so dangerous it could kill any large mammal, including humans. Brown's animal experiments had persuaded American politicians the most humane method of executing